Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with your host, Nufftingz. So, I was watching a Madea movie yesterday, and I thought it was absolutely atrocious. This movie was so boring, and it's the reason why I'm even doing this video is I'm gonna give like a little recap of the movie, what I remember, because the movie really was buns. But man, it just shows you that, creatively, Tyler Perry, he's on some, he's too rich. I don't even think he understands, the culture anymore. Look, I'm a huge Tyler Perry fan. I used to love watching Medea's and all his stuff years ago. But now, nah, bro. So this movie is a little funny. So the movie starts off like this, all right? So, and yes, there's going to be spoilers. So, Tyler Perry's character is Brian. And if you know Brian, Brian is Medea's nephew, and what's his name? Uncle George, or I can't remember the father's name. But he's so funny. I can not remember what the father's name was. Jeez, I can't remember. So the father, Brian's father is the old dude, right? That lives in Medea's house. So, anyways, um, the movie starts where he's just meeting up with them, doing whatever, and he finds out that he has his daughter, who we remember when she was younger. Now she's an adult. Time has passed. She's grown up now, and she's getting married to this light-skinned dude. Okay, cool. So he is at dinner with his ex-wife. Now, if you remember the ex-wife was the drug addict that was in the old movies, but it's a different lady playing her now, right? But she was in the old ones, and she would break into his house or whatever and steal from him, and so he helped her. Anyway, she's married to some rich dude. Okay, cool. So she tells him that, I need to talk to you. So they're at the dinner, and he's wondering why they're at this dinner talking, right? So his son comes in, and his son is very nerdy. Though the ex-wife, the kid's mother, doesn't like that. She's like, oh no, I don't like that, whatever. I think the mother's name is what is his mother's name? Is it Tiffany, or I can't remember her name, or Deborah. I can't remember the name of this woman, but so you have to watch it yourself, right? So anywho, she is waiting for, she's dogging Brian for the son being the way he is. He's very nerdy, and I guess you could say he's a little bit fruity, whatever. She didn't like it, right? But he was fine. He was just nerd. That was it. There's nothing wrong with the kid. So the daughter finally comes, and the daughter now is grown, and she's gonna marry this dude. So this dude, apparently his name is Xavier. His real name is Xavier Smalls. He's been on a couple other projects for Tyler Perry, but he's a good looking light skinned dude, right? So when he meets Brian, he is so disrespectful, and he calls him the N-word. He's just rude, right? And Brian is trying to talk to him. Now, mind you, Brian does not want his daughter getting married to some dude he's never met. So apparently they've known each other for 4 months. The mother knew him, but Brian never met him. So Brian was not happy, right? So he's like, oh, well, I don't like this, whatever, right? So, she's getting married to this dude, he's never met him. So he's annoyed, right? If you're a father, you'd understand. God, if you're a mother, you'd understand. You'd be annoyed. But the thing that caught me was how rude the kid was. The dude that's marrying his daughter, rude and disrespectful, right? And I was like, yo, if he was in a Jamaican household with that, he would have got whooped. And he light-skinned, you got whooped even harder. So, I thought that was really weird. It's to me, Tyler Perry pushes it a little too much. There's no possible way that Brian wouldn't have choked this dude. I'm being real here. You're going to take his daughter and you're disrespecting him like that. No, like that wouldn't fly. Like there's no way he would not choke him. Like seriously. There it just didn't seem normal to me. Like it was like, dude, what planet are you on thinking that that's a normal thing? So anyways, we're going to skip a little bit. So he goes to Medea and talks to her and her dad and her brother, which is his father. And they explain to him that he's babying up the kids, he's being a sissy, he needs to handle that, right? And he's like, no, I'm not going to spank them because you guys used to abuse me and whatever. And they go, well, you became something and they're not doing anything. And then they dogged him for the son being the way he was and whatever. So that's just like, so from then on, it goes to like the Medea show. Now, actually, before that, there was one good scene, and I have to say this. Someone tries to rob Medea. Like, there has to be one of those, right? And they try to steal her car or take the purse out of her car, and Medea whoops their butt. Like, we're talking like three dudes getting out of a car, and then lights the car on fire. It was the funny, like, that to me was funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Medea is hilarious. Like, that part was funny. But the other stuff, like when they find out that the wedding's gonna be in the Bahamas, and how Brian wanted to pay for the wedding when the mother wanted to pay, because like I said, the mother is married to this rich dude, right? Anyway, so they go to get passports, right? Medea, as we all know, Medea is a criminal. So Medea is like, oh, nah, I'm not feeling this. She's getting all annoyed. And Mr. Brown is there, in his colorful colors as usual. His wife is in there, but she plays his daughter. So weird. She's there, and the other ones are there too. Like Bam is there. Like that's her name, Cora. Mr. Brown was there. Cora was there. Bam was there. There was like the regular cast, right? That little one with the glasses and talks funny. She was in this movie, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, why should I in this? Because she's funny. Anyways, so moving on. So they try to get the passports, and Medea, paranoid as ever, does some nonsense, doesn't want to go up, and they got the passports right away. All they had to do was fill an application and then take the picture, and the passports are done right away. And I was like, bro, is that how people with money get it? Because I know when I do a passport, I gotta wait like 2-3 weeks for that. So it's like, damn, like if I could get it day of, that's beautiful. So anywho, moving on. So Medea doesn't want to meet up with the people because when they called her name, they called her whole government name out, which I thought this is just adding to the movie that was not needed to be there. And then finally, Medea loses it and runs out the door and goes through a glass window or a glass door. And I was like, dude, like, what are we watching here? Like, this is so dumb. So anyways, they go to the Bahamas. There was issues with the, hotel. I won't get into that. It's just runtime. Like a lot of this movie could have been cut out. Like seriously, it could have been an episode on Mr. Brown, Meet the Browns, something like that. So time goes on, and there's all these other things that happen. Like the father, Brian's dad, he runs up a huge bill, gambling. Medea spent a whole bunch of money. There was a scene where Mr. Brown poops himself. There's a scene where Mr. Brown nearly drowns in the water using a GoPro, which is hilarious. This actually wasn't funny. Like none of this, like, look, real talks, none of this was funny. Like this was just like, dude, when is it gonna end? Like I was getting tortured. So anywho, the dude Xavier, he's gonna have a bachelor party, right? So he wants to invite Brian. And Brian doesn't want to go because Brian is very, he's not into stuff like that, right? And the grandfather goes, and they're having fun and whatever. And then there was a scene where he's talking to this woman, right? And I'm watching them talk, and he's like yelling at this woman. Like Xavier is yelling at this woman, right? And I'm like, yo, is that his mom? Like, I'm like watching this, I'm like, yo, that must be his mom. Like, she's a little bit older, but it did look like she was like one of the escorts that were at this bachelorette party, but she wasn't there during when everyone was like dancing and stuff. But there was one part about that too. when all the I don't know how to say it, like all the escorts were dancing with Mr. Brown, he's like throwing holy water on them because he's a Christian man, and I thought that was just over the top. I don't know if it was funny or not, but it was just like, okay, wow. So then Brian sees that the kid that's going to marry his daughter, Xavier, is talking to this woman, right? So he thinks that, he's cheating on the daughter, right? So he goes, oh, but hold on. Before I even say that, there was one part when he met Madea and all them at their house, and when Mr. Brown tried to talk to him, he called him old N-word, and he was just rude as hell. And like they made it to like that you wouldn't like this dude. Now I notice a lot of people when they watch movies like this, they don't care if the guy is rude. They just care if he's good looking. I don't care if he's good looking. I think he's rude and he should have got poked in the eye. Like seriously. See, I would say something else, but YouTube will be like, "No, don't say that." But like the way he was acting was really just over the top. Like people are not acting like that. If you're trying to marry someone's daughter, you're not going to be rude to the family. Like, what's the point? Like, and this is something that I don't know if other cultures do that, but black culture, you're not being rude to people's parents. You know what I'm saying? Because the person that you're going to marry, if you're rude to their parents, they're not going to like that. So you got an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of respect supposed to be in our household. There's supposed to be respect in everyone's household. So this was weird to me watching this. I'm like, dude, okay. So when Brian sees the woman with the Xavier kid, he then starts talking nonsense, right? Like not really talking nonsense, but like getting up at him, and then the everyone approached them, and then the daughter saw, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm cutting off the wedding," blah blah blah, and then Brian talks to him in the Xavier kid in his hotel room, and the woman comes in, and we find out that that's his mother, that's Xavier's mother, which that's what I thought. And then she starts yelling at Brian, saying that Brian never gave him a chance. Her son's a good kid. You just started judging right away. And even then, the Xavier kid is still being an ass. Like, he's being rude for no reason. He's being rude to his mother. He's being rude to Brian. So they go outside, right? I don't know where they were. They were somewhere. And Brian goes to talk to the kid. And he's like, I want to know everything about you. Maybe I shouldn't have judged you so harshly. And then the kid didn't want to tell him. Xavier didn't want to tell him anything. Then Xavier finally told him that, he used to sell drugs, watch his brother get killed, blah, blah, blah. The same old crybaby stuff, right? Okay. Then, Brian starts to say, oh, maybe I judged you wrong and blah, blah, blah. And they became like all happy. Because then he's like, the Xavier kid's like, I love your daughter. She saves me, blah, blah, blah. The daughter then sees, and then she falls in love with this guy even more. And they proceed to get married. Right? Okay. People. What the hell is that? Now, listen, I'm 41, right? I'm not, 20 years old. But even when I was in my 20s and I had all this ego and all this pride and whatever, I never disrespected people's parents unless they got up in my face and there was an issue, right? But even then, you still got to respect people's parents. Like, what I don't understand, right? Because then, Brian practically pretends like nothing happened. It wasn't like Brian just started judging this kid for no reason. He was judging him to a point because he never met this guy. And this guy is now marrying his daughter. Right? Any father who loves his daughter is not going to be happy to give his daughter away, number one. Number two, if you don't even know the guy, you don't know what you're putting your daughter into. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, like we've done it, you've been in love, and you do some stupid nonsense, right? So you try to protect your children. There's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that this kid was rude as hell to all of them, like Madea wanted to punch him in the face at one point. So, like, he was rude. Like, you're talking to grown folks, calling them the N-word, right? Like, you're being rude. You're just disrespecting. Like, there's one point too, when he first meets Brian, they were talking and he was talking about how, yeah, man, I hit your daughter. Like he's literally doing the back shot motion. And I'm watching this and I'm like, yo, the fact that he disrespected the daughter to the father like that, bro, come on. Like it's so unrealistic to me. Like to me, it was just like, why is he doing that? Like I'm watching this, and even me in my 20s, I would never have done that. Like I was like, who does that? Like I was like, dude, what are we watching here? This is so dumb. Like this is so degrading on so many levels. Like Brian, yo, the guy that like Tyler Perry is 6'4", this big dude, and you're gonna let some little light skinned dude who had braids. He looked like Shamar Moore back in Diary of a Mad Black Woman. So I wondered if the hair was even, if it was a wig. Because it looked like a wig to me. But I could be wrong. Like maybe they made wigs way better now. Or maybe it was his real hair. I don't know. But it was like these single braids. He had the teardrop tattoo on his eye. And it's like, you're literally disrespecting everybody. You're calling him the N-word. And you're showing that, yo, I hit that. Like, so you're showing him that, yo, I'm clapping your daughter's cheeks, bro. Why would you do, like, I don't understand. Why would you do that? Like, I just can't get over. And like, then you're apologizing to him for judging him? How could you not judge him with what he did? To me, that's just dumb. Like, the movies that he's releasing are so irritating. Like, it's like, and I'm a Tyler Perry fan, but dude, how can you watch this and not be like, bro, this guy is so like out of touch with reality. Like he lives on a whole different universe. Like Doctor Strange couldn't find this dude. Like he's in the multiverse. Like, you know, like, bro, like, dude, I don't know. Anyways, it ends where, you know, he marries the daughter, whatever. And then they find out that, you know, they used up all of Brian's credit card because they were like through the whole movie, they were dogging Brian. Like the whole movie, if you cut out the nonsense, would have been 30 minutes. Now, mind you, the first 30 minutes were actually not bad. Like it was funny watching Madea do Madea stuff, but the rest of it, I don't know what they were thinking. This movie is terrible. Just because of that. Like, you'd only watch it for the name. Like I'm telling you, you might like it if you watch it. But I watched it and was falling asleep because it was so dumb. Like it was so degrading to the culture. And it was just so weird. Like the way how this, like, I just can't get over the way how this kid was so disrespectful. And just because his mother, who was an escort, she was, you know, doing some funky stuff, tells you, oh, he's a good kid. But it's like, you know, and then at the end, he finally starts saying, well, sir. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm sir now. And it's like, dude, like, I understand that he's turned a new leaf now, but there's no reason to judge Brian and say, well, you're the reason why the kid is whatever. It's like, dude, he started off bad. He started off annoying Brian. Hello? Like, if he really wanted the daughter's hand in marriage, he could have been more respectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have to be like that. You don't have to act like a ding dong. Like, he was acting like I used to be around the hardest dudes growing up, and they would never disrespect a parent like that. So what does this show you? Like, is everything changed to the point where 20-year-olds now can disrespect parents? Look, man, I have a daughter. If she brought someone home like that, or even my son brought a woman like that, they're not talking to me like that. Like, seriously, like, yo, you see that door? They be pushed out so fast. Like, there's no way. No, we're not doing that. Like, you're not disrespecting me in my own home. You're not disrespecting me in my face. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I don't think anyone will be that silly. Like, I think people have more sense to put on a show. You know, like, they're not going to make you think that look, man, I don't know. To me, the movie was buns. I give that movie, I swear I give it a 2 out of 10. It's awful. Absolutely terrible. The writing sucks. The only good part was the first, quarter of it, where Madea did her thing, whatever. Those parts were fine, but everything else, it wasn't funny. It just wasn't good at all. It was terrible, and Tyler Perry needs to get some better writers and come up with some better material, because this wouldn't have been funny 20 years ago. I'm gonna be honest with you. Compared to all his other projects from when he was younger and when he was, not a rich guy the way how he is now, this movie would have been regarded as one of the worst ones, even back then. So there's no way to save this movie. This movie is terrible. He should have watched it and never released it. Real talk. The only thing it was good for was giving some people some money that work on it. That's it. Like, the actors got paid, the people that did the sets and all that got paid. That's the only good part about this whole movie. Besides that, ugh, never again. Tyler Perry, please, for the love of God, stop making these degrading movies that make no sense. Anywho, that was my video on, what was the name of this movie? Medea's Destination Wedding. And I'm telling you, don't watch it. If you watch it, cool, but be prepared to be disappointed. Okay, bye.